I've been doing this a long time. And what makes a story great, what really gets people's attention, is when the story has a lot of moving parts, a lot of characters, a lot of sinister undertones and overtones and weird, dark people in the shadows, conspiracies, psychological operations, intel, murder, investigations, cover-up, forensics. Oh my God. It's true crime meets James Bond meets whatever. MK Ultra, Mockingbird Media. Go on, just keep going. And also, what helps tremendously is when you have some of the most stupid people in the world at TPUSA. Absolutely moronic in stepping on their unforced errors for no particular reason. Then you have this indefatigable, dogged pursuit of Candace Owens, who gets on like a pit bull and won't let go. And the more you swat her and the more you insult her, the more determined she becomes. It's like that Chinese, that finger trap thing that you put. The more you pull, the more, it's like a miasma. It's like getting stuck in quicksand. The more you struggle, the worse it gets. And if these people were smart, they would just ignore her, but they can't. They can't do it because that would be smart. But they don't understand something. Candace is not running a courtroom. She's not pretending to be the FBI or CIA or some kind of prosecutor standing at the lectern delivering a final argument. No. And that is exactly what so many critics either cannot or will not or refuse to understand. Because that misunderstanding is the very weapon being used against her. Because her show is not about presenting only perfectly wrapped facts after institutions we already distrust have stamped their approval on them. Her show is about something newer, something more interesting, something far more threatening to the very people who rely on secrecy and duplicity and shadows, but also the sense of you can't talk about us. You don't understand. That's why they push this widow, I'm sorry to tell you, push Erica out there. You can't talk about her. She just lost a husband. She's a mother of the kids. Wait a minute. That doesn't work. That lasted about 20 minutes because Erica Kirk was so profoundly ill-equipped to handle this barrage. She didn't know the script. She didn't know the facts. She thinks she could dab a few eyes and be cutesy, and that America would just be so overwhelmed with the love and warmth that she exuded that nobody would notice any difference. Wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. These are organizations, by the way, that rely on secrecy and the sense of weird kind of hierarchy, which is important. But by the way, what we're talking about right now is something called open source navigation and investigation. And she is the magnetic center where leads, tips, and clues all converge. And she vets them, she looks at them, she throws them out, she qualifies them, she changes her mind. If something doesn't work, she changes her mind. But this is the most important. But you have to understand that you have to know they are not nonsense. You have to understand this. This isn't crazy. This is how information is collected. Because remember, they are trying to prevent her from knowing what's going on. So excuse her if she gets a couple of facts wrong. It'd be nice if the FBI or somebody helped out, but they're not. They're all in this. Now, I'm not saying they're in the actual murder, but if the government wanted to go out of their way to open this up the same way they are with like the Rob Reiner murder, oh, that's easy. Or the Gene Hackman, you knew every little fact about the dogs in the closet and Rob Reiner and Billy Crystal and Conan O'Brien. Not this. Why do you think that is? Open crowdsourcing puts all the facts into the open so the public can do what no centralized authority or intel op wants us doing, which is chasing those leads independently and testing them, confirming them, disproving them, or pushing them further pushing them where nobody really intended us to go. And people complain that she never even states her theory, and that, and I guess that complaint proves the point, because she's not there to spoon feed conclusions. She's there to surface and to expose the information and let the collective do the work. And that's why she has a tip line flooded with thousands of messages a day, which she has to collate and go through and sift through. And that's why she says this person claims this here is what we verified, and now it's for all of us to know. And this model terrifies people. She's showing you the actual process and processes of figuring out what happened. And again, the whoever the bad guys are, they're going nuts. Because these people depend on controlled narratives, the official story. Because real investigations do not work by pre-deciding and predetermining where the truth is allowed to go. Look, I remember this from 9/11. I remember this. I remember when 9/11 architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth and Richard Gage and other people came upon. I mean, they put all of this information. They said, we've got 2,000 architects here. We're putting this out. This is before, the 9/11 Commission and Kane and all that. They said, Salakau and all these people, they said, stop this. And they lowered the boom on these people. You're crazy, you're sick, you're nuts for you to suggest that anything other than a bunch of, Muslim-y kind of guys with funny names and wearing a burnous, commandeered these planes. How dare you? I know this routine. I know this. You follow the truth where you're allowed to go. You follow every credible lead, even if it makes people uncomfortable, even if it turns out to be a dead end. And sometimes that lead goes nowhere, which is not failure, but progress, whether it's Mitch Snow or whoever. Because that is how real inquiry and investigation functions. Yet every time a lead hits a sensitive area, the response is never calm clarification. Oh, no. It's outrage and smears and proxy attacks. Get her! Go after her! And a lot of people are going after her. I don't know what's going on here. I want to say, between you and me, who's paying them? These people don't work for free. They don't do anything for free. Who's paying them? What's their motivation to sully, to besmirch, to impugn Candace Owens? And the attempts to discredit her are incredible, because attacking the person at the center is how you kill an investigation without ever disproving it. At least that's what you think. And the moment that people start fighting each other over, among other things, inter alia, individual clues, the process collapses, which is exactly the goal. And the division and exhaustion and the confusion, all of this that's disguised as concern. And what they do is they challenge a lead by attacking Candace, not the actual fact itself. And it's part of the process that they keep doing time and time again. And it turns into disagreements about personal warfare, and it's her and Sabotage. Look what they're doing to this Mitch Snow. Oh my God. The funniest is when they brought his son in to basically provide to discredit him, to impeach his credibility. And what did they do? He verified everything. It's incredible. And that escalation that we're seeing is pushed deliberately by voices that should know better. People who themselves have been the subject of this. People who know better. How dare you? Who's paying you? Who's paying? Are you winning? Is there something going on here that we don't know? Is there something in the back like, listen, do us a favor, attack? We've got to quell her. And as the Brigitte Macron thing, especially what's going on regarding this absolute insanity in France, regarding people being arrested for harassment. Oh, it's going to get real tasty, my friends. Real tasty. And these people should know better than jumping on board. Why? Don't they know that emotional conflict shuts down, rational investigation and inquiry? And when you have these colossal platforms starting to scream and yell and make accusations against Candace and everybody else, instead of calmly addressing the questions, they're not protecting the truth. They're poisoning the well. And if you ask the most basic of questions, the most basic of all, it becomes obvious why those accusations make no sense. Because if Candace Owens were not, or if she were some kind of intel asset, either one, the last thing she would be doing is opening the field and inviting millions of people to independently investigate along with her without permission from intel agencies or her handlers. You understand that? This is the part that's important. If she's some kind of a deep state, whatever it is, why is she doing it this way? Why would you let it out? Why would she be opening the information that would hurt deep state, actually shadow government? These people don't empower this type of thing. They shut it down. They don't want to have individual investigations. They want to shut it down. And the reason that many people trust her intentions and her instincts is simple. She's acting in good faith. She's saying, here is what someone claims. Here is what we checked. Here is where this guy says he was. Here is what he sees, what he saw. We do this in the courtroom all the time. Put somebody on. And sometimes it may take 4 or 5 people who see fragments of something to put together a collective fact. Let me tell you something. This is so obvious. She will fight tooth and nail, especially when she's attacked, because that is who she is. And expecting her to retreat or give up is fantasy. But escalation, turning up the heat, only serves those who want this to fall apart. The smarter move would be, of course, transparency, and I told you this, to investigate, to talk to her like she's crazy. Remember Nerd Ratchet? Thank you, Randall. That's interesting. Candace, what do you have to say? Oh, I see. And his name is Mitch Snow? And what does Mitch Snow say? I see. Well, thank you very much for that. Any other questions? Thank you, Candace. Have a nice day. It's almost like you're patting him on the head. This is the thing which drives people crazy. This is something which I cannot explain to you any other way than what I'm telling you. And I want you to listen and listen good. I don't want to repeat myself, but I am. This is not about Candace Owens. It's not. It's about a bunch of people coming forward for the first time who said, excuse me, is there room for me? Yes. Come on in. It's almost like this is I don't want to make a joke of this, but it's almost like this is some kind of a 12-step program. But we're not trying to, what am I trying to say? We're not trying to get away from something. We're trying to, we're trying in effect to find out the truth. And a lot of people are coming forward for the first time. And let me also tell you something. There have been a lot of folks who, for whatever reason, throughout the years, nothing really grabbed them. None of the, quote, more popular conservative or conspiracy theories, as people call them, really got their attention. Nothing really did, but this does. This one got their attention. And why do you think that is? Why is it? And they're coming forward and they're saying, hi, how are you? That's right. Hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm not involved in I'm not really MAGA. I'm not really conservative. But I liked her and I liked Charlie. Can I come in? Yes. Does Candace need help? Yes. Can I help? Yes. Join the club. And we're getting almost hybrid, splintered groups of people who don't represent any particular articulable political group or ideology. But this is something which is important. And if the GOP were smart, which they're not, they would pay attention to who these people are. Because like I told you, remember what I said, this has a lot of players, a lot of names, a lot of facts, forensics, intel, intrigue, and just when you get into it, it gets deeper and there's more to know. It's not simple. Like the Rob Reiner murder, simple. Nick Reddick killed him. That's it. He might have been on crank or meth or whatever, but that's it. There's no somebody else, intruders. It's not JonBenet Ramsey or the Manson. No, that's simple. They like that. Gene Hackman, they both died together and they were old. And okay, have fun with that. That's simple. Virginia Giuffre, nothing's mentioned. Nothing. Isn't that something? Nothing. This is the most important part. This is the linchpin of the Epstein investigation. This thing looks so bad. Remember the picture of her? I thought it was a murder. I thought it was a morgue shot with lividity and fixed. Nobody said anything. So, not to get off the point, but I want you to understand this is different. This is focused. This is something which I want you to be a part of, and I want you to understand how critical this is. Critical this is. And what I like is I like truth. I like to know what's going on. I found that sub. Remember that sub that went down and blew up? I was fascinated by it because they were doing everything in their power to not tell us the truth about that. Not everything has to affect world. Put it this way: the Venezuela attack. It's nothing. It's simple. It's so easy. It's not even funny. There's no mystery to that. There's no moving parts. We know exactly what happened. And we know what the president is doing, whether you like it or not. That's not what a lot of younger folks find interesting. This they find interesting because they love Charlie. They love what he stood for. And the very fact that all these people, and that there are so many, this is almost like Mr. Mustard in the parlor with the candlestick or whatever. This is like Clue or something. This is like an Agatha Christie thing. All of the moving parts. Ballistics, murder, guns, fragments, a so-so patsy, a furry head wearing gay trans, I don't know who these people are. You got this Erica Kirk, this Tammy Faye Baker wannabe, all these other people. You got this hard-hitting Candace Owens. She's like the Dorothy Kilgallen, I hope a better fate rather. This is brilliant. And it keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper and more fascinating. And what I'm telling you is that if they knew what they were doing, they would pay attention. So let me thank you for this. Thank you for following us. Thank you for following my wife at Lynn's Warriors and her great work regarding stopping child predation and human trafficking. Thank you for that. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for putting us into the HOV lane to bring a number of new people in, young people, I hope, this new crew, to listen to us and listen to me, your old Uncle Lionel here, so I can tell you, this is how it's done. This is why this is fascinating. So I thank you. I wish you the best of 2026. This is going to be one hell of a year. We got midterms coming up. We've got, are you seeing what's happening in Minnesota? And watch what happens next in California. We'll get to that later. Not too many facts. We'll stick to this. Until then, my friend, as I always say, I've got some questions for you in the comment section. Please go there and weigh in. Your observations are beautiful. Now comment as you see fit.